I'm a tree hugger that will hit you with the tree. Like, you know what I mean? I need somebody that's going to be like, you know, fall back, look at yourself, check it,
reflect.
And reflect. And,
well, I mean, a person, reality is a person that's saying peace and blessings, and that's, you know, emanating peace or wants peace. At the end of the day, they know what it is to not be of peace or at peace.
Back for another Select Conversation by UnitedMasters, presented by Ally. I have the unique pleasure right now to sit next to a couple that doesn't just talk about health being wealth. They live it. They share it with our community, and I'm so happy that they're going to share it with us today on Select Conversations. Styles P and Adjua, how are you?
Oh,
What's
hello,
up, sis?
hello.
You all are a glowing couple. And again, this is such a unique moment for me. I'm just so happy to just sit and bask in your light because you all are just so accomplished in your own ways, but then together, the unit is immaculate in the way that you're uplifting our communities and sharing, you know, the good word and the good vibes of health is just unmatched. So let me just thank you on behalf of everybody that's trying to be healthy out here. Thank you so much. So how did you all know that health was what you wanted to give to the masses?
Well, it was all organic.
Right.
It's a lifestyle for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we pretty much what we offer is an extension of our medicine cabinet, so to speak. Things that we use every day, we believe in. So
we wanted the community to kind of, you know, have the same thing and understand the same thing. We don't knock Western medicine. We believe if something's wrong, you should go to your doctor. But as a Black and brown community, we don't often look into how do we avoid these ailments in the first place, and are there natural ways that I could help myself out, and are there natural things that we could do as a people to kind of live better? Because once we were able to make more money and move to a more affluent neighborhood, the difference in supermarkets and options what you have to buy
undoubtedly
is a tremendous
there's a big
difference.
Yes,
tremendous.
there's a huge difference.
Yeah. So you know,
basically it just starts from how we live and just showing people that it's an easy lifestyle to be healthy and look cute at the same time. But, you know, so it was easy. It's easy for us, you know, especially when you have children.
Oh, right.
You know, you want to make sure they're eating healthy. That's definitely primarily where it started. So, and then he learned some things from me because how I was raised. I was raised in an idle household, you know, which is?
Don't eat nothing that swim, crawls, walks, fly, or farts.
That
the
is
other F
so
word.
different.
Or the other F word,
Yeah.
So I don't like to eat
Okay.
anything that does any of those things.
Okay.
And it's not about people being plant-based. We maintain plant-basedness, you know, but I'm not God. I'm not the creator. I'm pretty sure when he made animals, he knew somebody was going to eat them.
Right.
But I
Just
think
not y'all.
for our people, I think it's just about finding balance. All people just finding a balance and starting to just invest on the inside, like the outside. So when she started putting me on the things like I tell people, I never knew what kale was till she, like my green stopped at spinach and collard greens and pretty much broccoli. So all the other greens I didn't know about green onions and kale and all of this. It was kind of just basic. So just from having a wife and trying to raise our kids and being honest, when you're a young Black person, young brown people, we understood both of our households, which kind of backgrounds we came from. She came from a more solid eating background. I came from this type of background, but we wanted to do better for our kids than our parents did for us. Each generation should be doing better.
But we also didn't understand the importance of eating to feel.
Explain that. Talk
So
to me
in
more
terms
about
of your diet, you know, you are how you eat. It's not cliche. It's really a fact. So he also, I guess through experimenting with him
Right.
in the beginning,
Crash dump.
we were able to see like really the effects of how clean eating, you know, works and how it correlates with, you know, your diet, with your mental and, you know, your emotional state. So after adapting that was that was super easy incentive for me to keep eating this way, because eating a certain way, eating clean, minding what you eat really does give you clarity.
Yeah.
It really does.
Right.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
So, P, when you first started adapting to this new lifestyle that Adjua blessed you with, what were the
Thank you.
first immediate, of course, what were the first immediate effects that you realized were different? Because, you know, I mean, we all know that you're part of the historic and just unmatched, untouched LOX. Tour life, I'm sure, was crazy.
Yeah.
You got shows all the time. There's a lot of smoking, drinking, fast food eating going on. And when you started to make that pivot, what did you notice was different, and then what made you continue the climb towards more healthy lifestyle?
It was pretty much a lot of things. It was really weight loss.
Okay.
I had postnasal drip and cyanitis, which I had for years.
Eczema.
Yeah.
Just left eczema and pretty much my temper. My temper became much more kind of easier. You know what I mean? I just kind of wanted to have peace, some sort of peace of mind, and not really, when I get outside,
Yeah.
have to be on my rah-rah. And, you know, I was getting I knew I was too intelligent to always be on my rah-rah, but
Right.
something was triggering me to, when something happens, I'm just immediately on it. So it had to be some sort of chemical imbalance. So I figured it was the food I was eating and the things I was putting in my body. And then, as I said, incorporating what my wife was teaching me, then thinking about I stopped eating pork at 12 on my own, and I stopped eating beef my first year on Bad Boys. So these were things I eliminated out of my diet. Then 2003, I stopped eating chicken.
Okay.
You know what I mean? After I came from the county jail, I was like, this is...
Yeah, a lot of celebrities.
Then I was vegetarian for a
are
long
giving up
time.
chicken.
And it was, you know, just the process of wanting to feel better, having a wife that wanted me to feel better, wanting to be there for my family. And it also helped me at work.
Right.
It made, you know, I'm a workaholic anyway, but it made it being a workaholic easier. It just kind of makes things a little clearer when you're at work.
That makes so much
Yes.
sense.
You
And
know.
Adjua, what was the starter pack? Because with someone who is just used to, I won't say toxic, but toxic lifestyle,
Right,
so to
for
speak,
sure.
especially juxtaposed to yours.
Right,
Because first,
right.
your skin is glowing. You
Thank
look
you.
amazing.
Thank you,
And
thank
you
you.
exude
Thank you.
healthy
Thank
living.
you.
So to transition someone like your husband over into more of what you're used to and how you were raised, what was the starter pack? Because we know cold turkey was not ever going to be the
No,
way to
well,
go.
first of all, I know how to cook.
I know
Yes,
that's
you do.
right.
Okay.
She said,
Yes,
"Show
you
how to
do."
cook.
That's another thing I
Okay.
tell people. Like once
Yeah.
you really get experience in the kitchen and you understand flavors, and you're able to mesh different cultures and flavors together, you'll be experimenting with a lot of things. You won't necessarily just cling to meat or animal protein. There's a plethora of things out there for you that you can enjoy. But back to him, just easy things that I knew he liked. Maybe a little foolery and trickery, but like, for example, like potato salad he likes, I would just switch it with a plant-based potato salad. He wouldn't tell the
Could you
difference.
okay.
You know,
could
maybe some
tell.
plant-based ice cream.
That's good cooking.
You know,
Not being able
French
to tell the
toast.
difference.
Yeah, French
Yeah.
toast. A lot of those things. So, I think for him, flavor was super important. Weight loss was important to maintain. So, I mean, I just supplement, so it's easy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just love how at ease the two of you are when it comes down to your lifestyle. And I can tell that when it came time to transition to business and marketing what this is to everyone else, again, it was easy
Yeah.
for you all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
talk to me about the moment you all came together and said, okay, look, we're about to put this out there for our community to enjoy.
Okay, well, there's two components. The first
Yeah.
was the juice bar.
Okay.
That was around for at least a good 8 years
Yeah,
before
like, yeah.
our sister company. But the juice bar was a place that he frequented a lot. So for him, it was like he needed to open up a spot so he can hang out.
Right.
A
I
healthy
hear that
spot.
that is a
healthy
really,
spot,
really big
you know?
part of culture in
Right.
Harlem specifically. Just
Yeah.
the juice bar. Just
Right.
going to the juice bar and hang out and network
Yeah.
and kick it.
So it's like you can hang out and you can socialize, but you know, you can still have health and infuse and be educated at the same
Right.
time, you know? So that's how that started, but he can talk a little bit more about the juice bar
Yeah,
and I
pretty-
can talk about pharmacy.
Yeah, it pretty much started with just kind of understanding. With my partner, he actually, when I first started, he had Fruits of Life, and it was in Harlem. And it was probably just me and like 7 other customers, my other partner, and about a few other customers. And we were just promoting and pushing, and he would ask me to be in a business, but I was like, it was doing so, it gave me so much benefits and health change by incorporating, just going to the juice bar, what my wife was doing at home and telling me to do, that I just kind of wanted to tell it to other brothers, like, really, this is a way to not catch a felony.
Right.
Slow down, give yourself a minute and not, like, you know what I mean? Just to give yourself that little leeway and that time to think. So it was kind of mandatory for me to tell the homies about it. And I didn't want to get in trouble, so I was trying to find a good spot to hang out where I could finally have a good spot to hang out and benefit and learn from, you know, the few other people that were there, a couple older men, people from other backgrounds. And just as we pushed it, my partner, he closed the store, and he called me a few months later, like, you're going to be my partner in the juice bar. Like, me and my other partner, you guys are my partners. Y'all do so much. Y'all build it up. And we just started doing it. We didn't really plan for it to have 5 stores, to be honest with you, and to keep growing. It started as one thing for the neighborhood with something small in mind, just saying we have to teach brothers how to, you know, that we know live a certain lifestyle, to try to give back to themselves and think about it from a different aspect and make a bar. Because people, when you think of a juice bar, you think of just healthy stuff, but you take out the bar aspect of it. We wanted to keep the bar aspect of it, where you get to come in, I don't care if you blood, Crip, Spanish, white, black, cop, ambulance, fireman, Jewish, whatever. When you come in, it's just a bar with other men, ladies, kids there chilling, and you share something in common with just wanting to get healthy. And we just kept that attitude.
I do have to say this. I got to give him his flowers because initially, from a business standpoint, I wanted to put the business in a different area.
Okay.
In more affluent areas where I thought, you know, we would just generate money right away. And I didn't understand the culture aspect and the giving back aspect initially. And he was like, okay, we're not on the same page here. And he had to break down exactly what his vision was and what he intended to do. And then I got it and it clicked and I was like, oh, snap. Like it's like more of, it's difficult. It's more difficult that way to go about it, where you're,
people don't want to attach to the bottom.
So the point is that the point is that, I commend him for really wanting to give back to the people, and really that was his incentive, to really get community healthy and make sure that he's building generational health and wealth and, employing people. So I didn't see that whole vision at first. I just saw dollar signs, and
that is so admirable.
Yeah,
though, as a
it
unit,
really is.
Most times before you get to your main goal, or before you get to the place where you achieve what you're looking to, there is adversity.
Yes.
You have to combat that with clear and concise communication, and that's what I'm getting from here. I'm just trying to pull out the gems for the people listening and watching, because look, if you want to be a power couple, that's what you have to do.
You have to
for sure. Listen, and you have to communicate, and then put the action behind it, and trust either to lead in that moment.
Exactly.
And
that's good that you saw that. You called us out.
No, I'm telling you,
but
I am from the South. I'm just trying to pull it all in.
Right.
So, when I have my power husband one day, it's like, okay, I listened this time.
Yes.
But that's one hand washes the other, both wash the face, because she's not she isn't a black man. She's a black woman, but she isn't a black man. So she wasn't looking at it from how I was looking at it. Like, what you've done for me, what you helped me do, what the bar helped me do, has brought me to this state. Other brothers need that. So it was more so of, as a businesswoman, she should have seen it that way. I was just looking at it more so, we need a home base for our own, to be able to, so they could get this formula to at least feel this way and at least have these kind of thoughts. So kind of, when you're in a relationship, we always go in the same place, but we're not always thinking about getting to this place the same way.
Exactly.
So that's just real in any relationship. Like, we sleep together, but we ain't dreaming together. We sharing the dream.
That's a bar. We sleeping together, but we ain't dreaming together.
You know what I mean? She got her own dreams. I got my own dreams. So when you wake up, you got to talk about the dreams, see how they combine. So that's kind of what we doing. The reality is, knowing who each other is in a relationship.
Exactly. And I want to expound on the separate sets of skills that you all bring to the table. Adjua, you are a serial entrepreneur. So I'm sure that a lot of the business backing, the strategic planning, the marketing, so many of the operational sides you brought to the communal factor and the healthy thing that P wanted to bring to the world. So just talk to me about who you are as an entrepreneur.
Okay, well, to be honest, I was kind of thrust into this.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of honestly, like most people know, our daughter passed away in 2015. Thank you.
No problem.
Prior to that, I was a stay-at-home mom. I loved being home with my kids. I loved being a wife. That's what I did. That's what I still love doing. But after that, I had to apply myself and, transition into some other things. And that was, he already had things going and so all these seeds planted. So I kind of just threw myself in there and with my skill set, which is just to really just be a walking advertisement for what I'm trying to sell.
I love that. You do that well.
Thank
Again,
you.
by the way.
Thank you. Just mentally, physically, spiritually. So, and I learned a lot from him. I'm just like fine-tune everything that he's kind of doing. And I've, sped it up a bit, but
A lot.
I've expedited it a bit for sure.
And that
But,
makes for
yeah.
a great
Sped it up a lot.
partnership.
Yeah, but we both, supplement each other well. Like we're both like sometimes he leads and I follow and vice versa.
Yeah.
But we trust each other, to both,
Yeah, and it
back
shows.
and forth.
It
Yeah.
shows. And as an artist, how easy or hard or what did you face when you decided to be a businessman?
I guess early in my career, I learned as an artist, you have to be a businessman, through early in the career. So, really, really listening.
Okay.
Really listening. And from this one, like, she's like, you're smart, but you don't listen enough. You need to
Okay.
listen more. And I'm observant, but I'm a Sag, so I'm kind of.
Me too. So you know how
I
we
go.
do.
Yeah, I
It's
go.
like we get an idea
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
just go
Yes.
with it.
I go-
And we take little feedback.
Yeah.
We're
I go-
works in progress.
Yeah.
Bear with
Okay.
us.
I go for it, but learning to listen and the things she was teaching me, I started seeing them play an effect, and just even from things she probably told me 10 years ago that I should have listened to. It'd be 10 years later, and I was
full
like,
circle.
oh man,
Okay.
I see that play out. And so then I just started incorporating listening a little more, and I think I kind of like naturally being both, because I feel as an artist you have to be a businessman,
You
or
have to.
your art will get lost, and
True.
people won't care about your art. So, or you have to be smart enough to put the right business people around you.
Right.
So I often like to try to do things myself. So I'm
Can't
I'm, st-
relate.
I'm still
The Sag way.
I'm still
Yeah.
work in progress, but I just keep it moving. I feed off of her too. Sometimes I just kind of watch what she do, see how if I could do it in my own way. You know what I mean? Do it like she's doing it, but still do it my own way, and it kind of pans out for me.
No, that works. And
You know?
it's not hard to tell that you put the maximum effort into being the proper husband and the proper business partner to Adjua. So I have to give you your flowers
Thank
and
you very
commend you
much.
on that
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you.
Is there any advice, or what advice would you give to any artist looking to transition into business outside of the music industry?
Pray first.
Okay.
If you believe in a creator, pray.
Talk to somebody about it.
And I would say just try to get a solid team around you and try to learn as much as you possibly can, and try to look at every day as a learning experience. And when doing business, try not to be emotional. Try to duck the emotions out of the business, because once you get emotional, you lose clarity,
It gets cloudy.
and
for
it gets
sure.
cloudy, and then you start doing business wrong. It just also keep your work ethic good and keep your reputation tight.
Well, I'm not an artist, but I can add a little.
You are.
Oh,
Wait,
please,
whoa, whoa,
you
whoa,
are
whoa.
an artist.
A little
Let me show you.
tidbit.
No,
What you-
she
first
is,
of all, you're a piece
Okay.
of art.
Thank you.
What you do daily is art.
no, she really is an artist though too.
I
Well, I'm
believe
a
it.
recording artist, but
Couture cakes. You go look it up. Couture Sweets, part of herself.
it's okay.
You could look up the cake design she used to do.
Come on.
Amazing, immaculate.
I'm
She
definitely
paints.
going to.
But
she
I
draws.
but I just wanted to
That's
say
art.
in terms of for the transitioning to business for the artists, also have fun. Like if there's something that you do in your off time, that can most likely turn into a business. So look at it from that aspect too.
Yeah.
So you should also be having some bit of fun in what you're doing. and enjoying it. Shouldn't be
fun.
looked at as work. Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
is essential, especially in entrepreneurship, because it's daunting. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And I think a big misconception that happens when making any type of transition into entrepreneurship, people think, okay, I don't want to work for anybody.
Right.
But working for yourself,
It's nonstop. You're never off.
there are no off days, no off moments, and you have to be on all the time. So how do you balance being on all the time, having a family, being wed? Like,
But
how
we're
do
working
you...
on that.
Okay, so it's a constant work in progress.
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Yes.
Always, because the truth is when you married friends and business partners,
Yeah.
you got to learn how to balance all of those
Those are
lines.
different
those are-
relationships.
Yeah,
those
you
are
have to learn
all-
when
One
to shut off
union.
work
Those are
and
all
turn
three
on
different-
intimacy. That's the total.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's a lot.
You're right.
It's a lot.
That's
So
a job in itself.
therapy,
Okay.
a lot of talking,
Mm-hmm.
date nights. I mean, it's work, and good work, because we have a goal, ultimate goal together,
Mm-hmm.
which is to be together and be happy and, present. Because you don't want to be just in a relationship and not be present with each other. You want to be present.
Yeah.
So, we work every day.
And you make it
Yes.
attainable.
Yes.
Your
Mhm.
example just really, really shines a light on what others can have. Even though, of course, comparison is always a little dicey, but you are a
Right.
shining example of what good things can come from that work being
Yes.
put in. So
Yes.
again,
Thank
thank
you.
you all so much.
You're welcome.
And
You're welcome.
so with that being said, I want to go on memory lane. Take me back. I'm a story kind of girl.
Okay.
So I want to know what your first thoughts were when you looked each other in the eyes and knew, like, okay, that's mine and I'm going to stick beside him. When did you know that, Adjua? When did you know? When was the moment where you said, that is my man
Okay,
and
I
we
can tell
riding
you
this
when.
all the way to the end?
I can tell you when.
Okay.
I knew when he would take, because I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
I have to say that. He would take a train, a plane, a boat to come to my house and then have to sit outside of my house on the steps in inclement weathers because my father would not let him in the house.
So this is during dating phase.
Oh, yes. This is during dating phase.
Okay.
And
So you sat on the stoop.
oh, yeah, for many nights and many hours and days because he wasn't allowed in the house.
Yep.
I wasn't allowed to have company. So, and he complied willingly.
I love that.
And that was like, okay, this is different. He's a keeper.
Indeed,
For
indeed.
sure.
And
Yeah.
was it in that same moment where you knew, okay, this
No,
is
his
my
was
wife?
before then.
Or, well, tell me. I want to know when.
Mine was before that.
She said we talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah. It was before then. I would say just from being on a at that time in my life, I really had I knew where I was going. I didn't want a girlfriend. But I wasn't aiming for anything like that, but she was I had an undeniable connection with her. I always wanted to talk to her. Like I would talk on the phone. I'm not a big talker, but I would love to talk with her. We would sit down, watch. I mean, she'd be in Brooklyn, I'd be wherever I'm at. We'd be on the phone watching Soul Train together, and then like it was just we'd be on the phone for hours and then hang
about
up
5,
and
6
then
hours sometimes.
hours again and then hours. So I kind of knew from that, because I was never that interested in anyone else. So
My heart
Yeah.
is
that just
It's
made
like-
it.
yeah.
That
Oh
made
my
it easy
goodness.
for me to know.
that is
know.
Yeah.
amazing. That is amazing. And then as time went on, look at you now. Just
Look at us
Yep.
now.
it's everything.
Never been separated. Broke up,
Yeah.
nothing ever. Yep, and all this time.
That's amazing. So we're gonna transition back to business.
Okay.
Do you all work with other members of your family, or are other members of your family involved in your business at all?
No, we don't have any other members of our family working with us, but we do consider the people that work with us family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So teams are essential in achieving the goal.
Absolutely.
Can you explain what you look for, not personally just in your business, but just when it comes down to character traits, just so people can understand when building a team and delegating to a team and leading a team, just different key members that they need and how they should operate?
Well, mine is always truth.
Okay.
You can kind of see a person's actions more than, the way they convey it verbally.
Indeed.
So that's my first. My first thing is truth. And,
True.
but we have different things.
Yeah,
though.
I was gonna say this. Is
we
not
have
the same.
different standards.
She's
Right.
way more on target with me. On target than me with certain things.
Oh, okay. So her discernment.
Yes.
As far as being accurate, P's
Okay.
and Q's, on point,
Intuition.
intuition, gut feeling. So we approach it from different angles. And like she said, but the one thing we do share is our team is our family. I think when you have a brand, you have to understand that and as the brand, owners, brand co-owners, we understand that those who work, people don't work under us, they work with us.
I love that.
You understand
and
what I'm
that's
saying?
important for
and
people
and
to hear.
And the machine, a machine needs all the parts running
Every
to be
single one.
to move properly. And what the brand stand for is even bigger than any owner,
Right.
any member. So everybody who's part of the brand, everybody who works at any location of the store, anybody who works at Juices for Life, Farmacy for Life, we understand that everyone is important.
But in the same token, though, communication is
Yeah.
essential. No emotions is essential.
Yeah.
Positions, understanding and respecting one's positions
Yeah.
is essential. So, and even with the communication, we can be leaders, so to speak, but
Right.
again, it's the way we communicate with everyone so that everyone as a whole works harmoniously together and, doesn't feel slighted in any way. But, communication and is super essential.
And knowing that when people could do a better job at something than you.
Right.
And you
That
know,
too, right.
just because you're the boss or the owner of something doesn't necessarily mean you could do a certain job best. But it's your duty, something she reminds me of, to be able to pick the people that can do the right job. And I'll be tender with somebody to where she'll be like, if they're not doing the job,
Well, yeah.
talk to them, give them a chance. They're not doing the job, it's a wrap.
They got to keep it moving. Right.
I think
I understand that.
I think it's, you got to ping pong over each other, and the workers got to understand that you're a worker.
Right.
And they
Right.
got to understand you're a boss and they're a boss.
Right.
So once everybody understands what's going on, like this show, for instance, it doesn't work without all the mechanics, the
Exactly.
sound man, the engineer, the hair, the makeup,
Oh, yeah.
the drivers, everything,
not work
everything plays, everything plays
Anybody.
part of something. So I think when you understand the mechanics of a brand and what your aim is,
Yeah,
it makes
sure.
it pretty easy.
It does. And along my way, I've learned, and I had to learn and understand quickly, that to be an effective leader, you also have to follow.
Definitely.
So that was a big thing
For sure.
that you said when
Yeah.
you mentioned, P, that you just as the boss, you're not the leader all the time. There's
Yeah.
something that you can learn from everybody that's a part
Absolutely.
of your goal and vice versa. So that's
there's
amazing.
ebbs and flows, and people can bring things to the table, and you have
Yeah.
to be willing to respect it and hear it, and especially if it's good for the business and the brand.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So as you all built your business financially, how did you set up for it? What were some of the roads that were clear? What were some of the learning
roads.
curves?
No
What
roads.
did you all experience?
Just jumped out there.
We
When-
just
No
jumped,
roads.
we just jumped and
So you
figured it
jumped.
out.
Okay, okay.
But it worked though.
But it
It all
worked.
Okay.
worked because I think we've just learned so much from just past experiences that we were just really economical from the beginning. So it just all had to make sense and be feasible with everything that we were doing anyway. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. So,
Indeed.
and it was the path just opened up, and it just really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like divine
Pretty
intervention.
much.
It was great. Yeah.
Okay.
And really, when I think about it, I go back to, when we were pretty much younger. Like,
Right.
I think we were 22 and a half when we bought our first condo. Like, all right, we're going to do this and we'll have some fun. So we went from hood apartment to figure out, whoa, we get a little money. Let's see where we could, and get some foundation. So I think
Yeah.
we've always
Yeah, we established
kinda
that first.
Just
Yeah, for
jump
sure.
out the window and try to
that's
figure
good.
out
Yeah.
what we could do that's business like, or do something business minded, or I think we often do that. So and then we just ping pong off each other with the energy, and it works.
Let's talk vitamins. I want to know what's in your medicine cabinet. What are your daily go-tos, from the natural roots to the supplements to the fruits? Just tell me the starter pack for you all, day by day.
Day by day. Okay. Well, I don't use everything every day. I fluctuate, but for the most part, the essentials are the black seed oil, which it has so many benefits. Excellent for inflammation, for low
Immunity.
sugar, immunity,
Brain function.
brain function, liver function, kidney function, and a whole lot more. Then there's the sea moss.
Okay.
Sea moss is essential, especially for women in our reproductive area. It's just really good for us. I believe, because I always get this wrong, it has 102 minerals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has 102 minerals of the 98 we have in our body, or something like that. We have 98, but it has 102. So
that's good to
Yeah,
And
so
it removes mucus also.
yeah, it's a sea algae. Just so
Okay, so
everyone
that's
knows.
2. Okay, I think
Yeah,
I'm
it's
doing good because I have
algae.
both in my
It's
house.
excellent for hair and
Antibacterial.
skin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's excellent for hair and skin.
Okay.
Then we have B, C, and D. That's vitamin B, vitamin C, and vitamin D, which vitamin D, as brown folks, we're always deficient. So anytime you can get vitamin D, especially IU 1000s, those are excellent.
Okay.
But in the combination, that's not what we
It's some
have,
good
but-
old fashioned sun.
And sun.
I was gonna
That
ask,
too.
is that even in
It-
style
it-
anymore?
it's not
Does
good
sun
enough,
count?
though.
Okay, it
Yeah,
does.
you should
It's not
definitely.
good
Perfect. With a proper SPF.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, but definitely a supplement is good to add to get vitamin D.
Okay.
And vitamin C is excellent for everything. So it's just always good to take regularly. But that's in one, what we have that, it's one pill or 3.
Yeah, BCD.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
We had a
3 in that.
combination, yeah.
Then there's oil of oregano, which is my favorite.
Which is my least favorite.
No, it has to be your favorite.
I
That's
feel
a
like my
natural
nose is gonna
antibiotic.
fall out every
cut a
time I
lemon-
try it.
Cut a lemon in half, squeeze the lemon in a cup, and just drop the drops in there.
Okay, so take it like a
little
shot.
Take it like a
Exactly.
shot.
Because I've always tried the dropper and I feel like I'm gonna
I go
throw
straight
up.
up.
Well, you can just put it under your tongue. That's the most
Yeah.
potent form and
Yeah,
direct form.
definitely.
Kills everything. It's great for yeast. It's great for inflammation. It's great for infections.
Immune system.
So flu, if you feel it coming on, a couple of drops.
See my face? I'm like, oh.
But you'll get used
I gotta
to it.
try it again.
With the orange juice, a little squeeze of orange juice or lime,
Okay.
that's a great way
good.
to take it too.
It'd be
Okay, I'm gonna try it
Yeah.
again just because y'all told me. I
Yeah.
believe anything y'all say about
Yeah.
health. Trust me. So I'm gonna
Something
try it again and let
we
you
don't
know.
sell low too. Also, super lysine.
Okay, what is that?
It's like echinacea,
Okay,
garlic, and
so this is like a mix
something
of things.
is mixed.
Like
Yeah.
cocktails, a
It's
vitamin
really-
cocktail.
Yeah, it's a great supplement to take just to
It's great for your immune system.
Yeah.
Okay.
It keep your immune system way up. Andrographis, which is like a root or herb, I believe.
Claudio Silver, you love that
Colloidal
one.
silver.
Colloidal.
Especially for blackstrap
actually
molasses
silver.
for women, unsulfured. I mean for everybody, but for women it's like taking Biotin. It'll work
Yeah.
for your hair, nails,
hair,
the
skin, and nails,
yeah.
okay.
And weight loss and energy, and mainly eat fruits and veggies and drink water with lemon. Like people want to know, like if you could get all the vitamins in the world you want, you could get everything we named and more. If you're eating
Poor.
poorly, it
not
starts with
effective.
you eating well. It starts with you drinking lemon water here. It starts with really just balancing.
Okay.
With saying, all right, I'm eating horrible this day. Let me try to eat good tomorrow. All right, instead of buying chicken with hormones and antibiotics in it, let me get something grass fed. Instead of frying it, let me grill it. Let me bake it. I think it just starts with
steps.
you
Baby
going
steps,
with
yep.
baby steps because people get overwhelmed by information
All the time.
and they think
I mean, the truth is, like, if I lived on an island, I wouldn't take probably as many supplements as I have to.
Facts.
But living here, it's extremely difficult to get good nutrients and, potent, real.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're
And
eating.
wheatgrass,
As
forgot
healthy as I
wheatgrass.
think I'm eating some days, I still don't know what I'm eating because, everything's so modified. But
Yeah, we're not growing it by
yeah,
hand.
if I lived,
Yeah.
where else, I would never probably take as many supplements because I could get fruits from off the trees and things from out directly from the ground food. So
Yeah.
it's basically what we do to maintain living here.
It's just trying to be
yourself
clean.
living on a farm? Because I kind of see
Yes,
the
I definitely
glisten
do.
in your eye when you talk
definitely
about
do.
living on an island.
I definitely do. Yes.
Okay, so do you want to farm? Do you want to move to an island?
Island.
What do you
Island.
We
think?
discussed that already.
That's,
Okay.
Yeah, that's the end game.
Yeah.
Okay, in
Yeah.
game, move to an island.
Yeah.
And live off the land.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So at home, I'm sure your medicine cabinet is more of a medicine wall. Do you all have a medicine closet?
Medicine
'Cause
room.
That there was so,
Yeah.
really
Yes.
But
Pretty
that doesn't
much.
surprise me though, based on this list that you all just gave me.
Well,
Really?
we don't really look at it like some people look at it like medicine. We look at it as essential herbs and oils
Right.
Mm.
Exactly.
for well living.
And there's a room dedicated.
Yeah, because if
Yeah.
you look at even things we say and the words we put in our mind, you're not really going to stick to it if you kind of look at it as medicine.
So the word medicine is what we need to unlearn, is what I'm hearing.
Well,
It's a part
Okay.
of
I
the
wouldn't even
regimen.
say
It's part of a
unlearn, but
lifestyle.
you have to look at it as part of your lifestyle. These essential herbs and oil are part of my healthy living and lifestyle. So therefore, you're not, you're looking forward to taking it.
Change your language, change your
Yeah.
life.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
Different
that is
perspective.
true.
Yeah.
That is true. That's
For
very,
sure.
very true.
Yeah.
So what supplements do you give your kids? And was it hard to transition them? Did they always grow up under Adjua's statutes of healthy living?
You know what?
Are they
to be
picky
honest
eaters?
with you, listen, kids will teach you so much, okay, if you pay attention. So when our son was like a toddler, I would give him chicken and he would spit it out. Throw it down on the floor, spit it out. And I knew then he didn't want it. So I stopped giving it to him.
Right.
Eventually he did start eating it. But again, it was what he preferred. I would give them what they preferred and a healthier preference, of course. Just, to make sure they had, weren't necessarily missing out, but they had
Right.
healthy options. Our son actually became plant-based on his own at 16, from about 16 to 21, I would say,
Yeah.
16 to 22. So, they've always had the education,
Okay.
in the background. They
Yeah.
always understood the lifestyle, and, they ate healthy. They ate healthy until they moved out on their own, which is normal because I did the same thing. But then you still have the education under your belt, so they always had that to fall back on.
Right.
So right now, my son lives by himself, and he eats. He's not plant-based, but he's conscious of how he eats, and that's all
that
I
makes
ask
the
for.
difference, yes.
That's all I ask for, because that way he's able to monitor. Okay, I feel this way based off of this I ate, or I shouldn't eat this week because of this I had
Yeah.
last week. And make modifications based off of it. But
Amazing
you need
parenting.
to,
And
yeah.
not, and not only that, people will be surprised when the household and the youth of the household pick up on something or get in it, or you're doing it together. Like she said, you can learn from anybody, but you could especially learn from them youth, because once they gather, they advance, because it went from eating a certain way to our son being the one implementing no fluoride.
Yes.
We didn't implement that in our house. It was kind of like our son making sure no fluoride. Oh, we need shower heads to make sure certain minerals aren't coming out. You got to, so once you on it and everybody's on it, now that's still knowledge that he'll never forget, because we often look at, like, we say we left a blueprint. Like,
Right.
even no
Right.
matter
And
what,
he's
we may
able
not
to-
leave
he's
for our
enabled to
community. Even
contribute.
so, we able to say, all right, here's a blueprint. I feel like crap. This will get you back on the road to at least feeling good. And it's not something, we didn't invent fruits, veggie, herbs, oil,
Right.
or nutty. We didn't invent juice bars. We didn't invent none of these things. We just have a passion with saying to our communities, these things will help you. These things will help your household. These are things that are going to help the black family. Like, you know what I mean? You can have a black family structure, because a lot of us feel like if it's not the, I can't say for the new generation, but people from our generation, we had to like grow up on our own and figure it out. Like we not the Cosbys, but we gonna do something, and we ain't, you know what I mean? We ain't gonna be babying them neither. We ain't got baby kids and them neither.
We
But
have a goal.
You know what I mean? We got a goal. We're gonna get somewhere. We're gonna figure it out. So I think when it comes to that, that's that's something we do as individuals and as a couple. So it kind of just.
That's so
But that also
Goes
goes
out.
back to that relationship too.
Exactly.
Because you
Yeah.
guys want to be like-minded when you get together and have
Indeed.
healthy
Yeah.
healthy outcomes in your decision making. So, because
sure.
Yeah.
seriously,
For
matters.
sure. It does. It matters
Yeah.
so much. And how much has your healthy lifestyle impacted the way you make music now and the music that you're working on?
I'm just a lot of energy, a lot more energized. I'm pretty sure I work everybody in my my generation of rap, my age group of rap. I doubt you could find anyone who outworks
We've
me.
seen examples.
You know.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
But I can add to that
We
though,
saw that.
because his rhyming is more conscious. His rhyming is more thoughtful. It's like, it's less.
You can be as real as you want.
Ignorant, you was gonna say that.
Definitely.
Go ahead, say
Definitely.
it. Let it out.
Less
Let it out.
ignorant, more mature.
Let it fly, baby. Let it
More
fly.
mature, you know? So there it is.
No, that makes sense. So your
Yeah.
studio environment and your show environment backstage, I'm sure is way, way different now. So what is the difference? Like outline the difference, like what it used to be and what it is now.
Well, the difference now is it's everywhere I go. I'm gonna either talk about juice or pharmacy. So
As you should.
that's a big, big difference. I'm come from the. If you know my background, you know my background. If
Yeah.
I don't, go find it out.
Exactly.
But for my background, I think, for us to go this far and people to see, go from outside to saying, all right, we're going to get our community healthy. We're going to try to show you what a growing, wanting to grow the empire, a wanting to grow black family that wants an empire, what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to share what works with y'all. We're going to try to share what doesn't work, and just kind of keep it pushing. So I think the lifestyle just makes everything a little bit easier. Living healthy makes everything kind of just a tad bit easier, because the truth is with anyone who's an entrepreneur, famous, rich, wealthy, they have more downs than ups. Mm-hmm. You just see the gram and Twitter and Facebook and the jewelry and the cars and the house and the pictures, and you thinking up. But the reality of the situation is more downs than up. You just make the ups very grand so you can enjoy them, and then you just try to get with someone that you can enjoy the downs with, because that's the reality of it. That's what really makes us work. Like, we've lost a daughter to suicide. We've been through a lot of things together, and people think it's the good moments. It's the down moments and the support and being able to make it out of those moments knowing you still love each other.
And it's also the people that the testimonials we get with people saying how their fibroids have shrunken due to taking black seed oil and being consistent and listening to us and taking the products that we take and knowing that we're really saving lives and helping people. Yeah. We really work every day. We're like hood doctors, people like all day,
Strapping
every
help.
day ask us questions about things, and and we're here to help. We don't mind it, but it's real work. It's real work, and
because it's for all of us to do it, and that's what people don't really understand. We're not
each one teach one.
It's each one teach one, and it's for all of us to do it. And I think people really have to understand that in the brown community, it's not about a temporary wave. It's not about a look. It's about really pay attention to what eating clean and drinking clean could do for you
in our community,
and just and pass it on. Because if you take care of you, then you're able to take care of your significant other than your household, and it's not going to always go right. But if you got some kind of foundation, you could at least have something to fall back on. And I think that's the main part, is understanding that the message is for the black and brown community, period. Like, once you know it and you got it, you could go on Farmacy for Life and go to the resource center. We tell you what each one of our products do. Each one of them. Just go. Farmacy for Life, Resource Center. You see what each product does. Take a picture of it and just remember what it does. You could go to the Juices for Life, see the whole menu. Take a picture of what each drink has in it, what it does, and start learning and moving on your own and spread it to your household.
And the truth is if you've been able to be blessed and put in a position to have affluence, give back.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Give back.
Yeah.
Lift as you climb.
Give back.
Give back.
Do something to help your community. I mean, there's several ways.
So many
baby
ways.
There's huge ways. There's there's ways to give back. There's no excuse now.
Right. It starts with information here, because the internet just really erases all global boundary. So even me, with my platform, I don't consider myself a celebrity, but anytime I find something uplifting or informative, whether it's healthy or enlightening, I share it. And even if there's only one person that responds and says, "Oh my gosh, I needed this," I know that I did a good job that day. So you're right. There's no excuse. There's no excuse.
Well, people do it. I could tell you, this goes back to the reason why we're here in the first place. The excuse is people are not eating clean and drinking clean, so you're not thinking and doing your best, your mind, body, and soul. Not that it's always going to be in one, but you want to try to align it up as much as possible, so people are negative and spewing out negativity and projecting negativity because they don't feel good about themselves. They aren't
that's a big
and their temple right now.
So that's where it comes. So your journey will get better if you eat clean and drink clean, and that's why we try to not be harsh as people who, have healthy lifestyles, live healthy lifestyles, and try to promote it. We try to also not be judgmental about people because we understand a lot of people do things because and we say this is amongst our own conversations.
Right.
Sometimes of things that could have personally happened to us ourselves. Like we have to remember, maybe this person wasn't eating right, drinking clean, taking
That's
care
so
of themselves.
important.
Maybe they have
Absolutely.
something
That's so important.
going on in their
Choices,
mind. Maybe
absolutely.
something's really bothering them and they projecting it on me. I don't really, and that's kind of important to do too. And that's what eating clean also gives you that clarity to not always take things
Personally and
so
judge others.
personal and
Absolutely.
judge others.
Exactly.
They'll get there, their journey.
That's the spiritual aspect
Well,
of it
that
all.
is
Yeah.
very spiritual.
Yes,
That's
that
very
is
spiritual.
spiritual
My
aspect of
mother always tells me, I feel like I talk about my mom a lot, but
That's
I
good.
love her so much. She always tells me that what people do to you, 9 times out of 10, it isn't even about you.
It isn't.
Yeah.
It's about them. And back to what you said, Adjua, about the spiritual aspect of it. How important is the spiritual aspect of just everyday life, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, being a wife? What does that look like for you?
That's kind of hard to put in words. I'll try. It looks like being true to myself first, but being true to myself means self-love. Loving myself essentially means that I don't have it to not love others. You know?
Exactly. It costs you
So
nothing.
just understanding that to admit love as much as possible, and also know that I'm still kind of dealing. I heal. My life is every day is healing. Everything we do revolves around healing, especially after the loss of our daughter. So, in knowing that I could naturally be another way, or I could be another way, I just really push forth in working hard at knowing that it's important to still be of love and be a loving person, and that's work, So with that, that's what you see. That's the work. That's the showing up. That's the work that you see. So I look at, I don't know. I have to feel good about things. I have to physically feel good about things, but I think my intuition is good enough that I always get what I need to know where I'm going, and things are feeling good.
Yes,
in
the
that pathway.
results confirm you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
That I've been.
indeed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, that
Yeah.
makes so much
Yeah.
sense. And as an artist from your background, again, if you don't know it, look it up, okay? It's available, or ask somebody from New York. When was your spiritual awakening? When did you realize, okay, look, I got to put the rah-rah down and I'm going towards the light with my wife? When did you make that decision, and how did you feel? How did you know it was the right decision? Because artists these days, I feel that there's a lot of hype that they get caught up in, and now we're in a different generation where the internet is kind of helping the downward spiral in terms of making better decisions with choosing eating healthy or choosing being more spiritual and more centered of a person. So how did you make that step, and what were you thinking? What were you going through in that moment?
I think I've been probably spiritual since I got in the music business way before, but just not always in good spirits.
Okay. That makes
Not
sense.
always kind of, I always say I'm 180 negative, 180 positive, so it depends on what's going on for.
Yeah, and you
which
said earlier,
spirit.
like your switch, like before
I would
your
say,
clean
I
eating.
would really say, for me, from eating and actually listening to my wife and just constantly being in this place, because in reality, like in real time, in our own relationship, this is a conversation we had weeks ago, well, her telling me, you're not as spiritual as you was a few months ago. And me having to look in the mirror and say, whoa, I'm actually not. Like, okay.
And you know what that means? So that she understands what that means. What that means is he wasn't present. He wasn't taking accountability of just things that were happening. So he was just on the go and speeding. And I know anytime he's in that mode and he's just going and in hustle mode, there's a lot of other things that kind of fall to the side, and that,
Yeah.
and his personality falls to the side with that shit too. So yeah.
All the way,
So
the
yeah,
whole
definitely.
Like the whole thing?
You said she
Okay.
could keep it real and let it fly. So
So yeah.
But I need that. Like I'm a kind
Yeah.
of person that needs that, because I was able even to tell her days later, oh, good looking for that check, because something happened where I probably would have lost it if she didn't remind me to check my spirituality. I probably would have actually projected my judgment on someone for what they was doing to me and taking it
Right.
more personal than looking at it as that person may be going through something at this particular moment. And I was able to fall back because of what she told me. And then 2 days later, the person was like, yo, can you help me? I'm in a bad headspace. And I was like, damn, I would have flipped on that person. I would have never knew, and then I would have felt bad. They would have never took the time out to extend to me, say, yo,
Right.
can we have a word? I'm in a bad headspace. And that comes from what she had told me, because I was just off on the go. I was like, because sometimes as a spiritual being, it's not always positive. And that's what the importance of eating healthy and
We don't hear that
drinking
enough.
healthy
That's
and
very
having somebody that can support you on your journey. I'm a tree hugger that will hit you with the tree. Like, you know what I mean? I need somebody that's going to be like, fall back, look at yourself, check
Right.
it.
Reflect.
And reflect. And,
Well, I mean, a person,
and that's
reality
what,
is a person that's saying peace and blessings and that's, emanating peace or wants peace. At the end of the day, they know what it is to not be of peace or at peace.
That is true.
So
That's
let's
true.
just stay on a peaceful realm.
Yeah.
Let's.
Yeah.
It's good there.
Let's just
It's
keep
a
it
good
there.
space.
So I
Yeah.
think, you have to have good beings around you too that could check yourself and understand. Sometimes you got to be able to understand if you're not seeing something too, because what was scary, it was for myself. I was like, damn, I wasn't even seeing that right now. How far would that have went before? I'm pretty sure I would have caught it, but how far would it have went?
Right.
Maybe, like, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's important. That's where the energy is important. And that's all this eating. It's not eating clean and drinking clean is about, and spreading good energy. It's not about being the most knowledgeable. People hear us or other people or rest in peace, God bless Dr. Zabi or Dick Gregory or nutritionists and feel like it's overwhelming information and I can't get there. You can.
I felt like that.
One day at a time.
It's easy to feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, the baby steps are so
Yeah, you could
essential
get there.
that
Like,
you're gonna talk
nobody's
about.
more knowledgeable than you. They just got there before you did. You could be as knowledgeable as them with time if you take your time and put your time
Timing.
in. And even if you don't make it to that point, you'll still be in a good place because you'll be feeling good.
That's true. And I love the self-reflection that the two of you just kind of mirror. And in that vein, if you could have a conversation or a cuss out, just is what it is since we're keeping it real, with your teenage or your 20-year-old self, with everything that you know now, from lifestyle to wellness to parenting, just being a good partner, family member, friend, what would you say?
Put my emotions on the back burner. At that age, some, not all, but some emotions on the back burner, because that's what fueled me when I was younger, just being so emotional, and not being able to harness, my emotions and understand, where they were coming from and that kind of thing.
For me, that's always a 50-50.
Okay.
Kind of, that's a split. I would tell my,
He was successful.
Yeah.
Well, you were on the way to,
I would say listen to those who care about you more.
Okay.
Listen, take time to listen, calm down. But then also, I think your past makes you who you are today.
It does.
I felt that journey and everything we've been through. I think that's another thing I think about clean eating and clean drinking that we speak about in spirituality that people won't understand if they don't eat clean or drink clean. Like, I don't know if you ever read her book, The E3 or Hype, but
I need to.
it's about
We're
our
gonna talk about
daughter.
that next.
It's about our daughter, and it just shows you it's a privilege and loss. It is a privilege and loss, and I think I learned that from her and going through things and just saying it gets you closer to God. You understand at the end of the day we're all going, and keep your spirituality intact. There's always people going through more than you. There's always people that's going to go through what you go through, but just to watch every day a person trying to be in best spirit, that keeps you in the realm of knowing, like, let me try to be in best spirits. You're going to fall, you're going to fuck up, you're going to screw it up. But if you got you got an example or someone you could see, you could feed off that energy and then spread that energy too.
In your
That's
own
the
way.
beautiful thing about energy.
Right.
Like, you could get something great and move it on, but you got to remember the same thing for something bad. You can get something bad and move it on. So you have to be very mindful, and I think that's what this whole thing is about. It's about just feeling in a good place, because a lot of people think it's just about the animals and about your body and about losing weight. That is not it. It's a lot deeper than that. It's a lot deeper than that.
connection to
It's about
humanity.
the connection to the earth and humanity.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes so much sense. Adjua.
Yes.
So author
Yes.
is another one of your multi hyphenates. Talk to me about your book. And I just have to highlight the quote that you just said, P. There's privilege in loss. Expound on that.
Well, that's the subtitle
please.
of the book. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know where it came from.
That's
I just knew it was your book, and
that's
it hit me.
The book is called The E3 Hike, and it's how to discern the privilege of loss through the power of love. And what that means is you will have profound loss at some point. Maybe not in this lifetime.
That's very true.
And I believe that it's there to change you and impact you if you allow it and break you open, not break you down. Because initially I did think that was definitely getting broke the fuck down.
You just
know what I'm
unlocked
saying?
something for me saying that, by the way. Thank you.
But, so that's what that is. It's just basically how I took her loss. One of the most, I loved her. I still love her, beyond the closest things to me. My first child that I had before him. So with that, I knew it was something deeper than just surface, and allowing myself to delve into it in a spiritual way, it has totally transformed me. And, I just tell people that I know it's hard and it's difficult and it's things you can't understand and explain, and you're not going to.
So confusing.
But the thing is there's always someone that can be in a worse situation. There is.
Right.
Like our daughter passed away from suicide. Horrible, detrimental, disgusting, the worst thing you can think about to most people, right?
Right.
But again, there's always someone who's lost their child and they have never heard about where they are. They've never come home, or they've had, heinous
milk
things.
box.
Exactly.
There's
Being sensitive to that
always,
is very important.
yeah. So
Right.
there's always other cases. So with that is where our journeys are different. We're all going to experience certain things. So it's how you handle what they are. Did I ever think I was going to lose my child? Absolutely not. That's the worst thing. I would think that, would
Right.
cripple me, like initially.
Who could ever
But I
fathom
know,
that?
like, some of your biggest fears, for me, I believe that most of your biggest fears, the things that you think are sent here to cripple you, are here to change you. That's what I believe.
Thank you for sharing that. And there's so much bravery and
Yeah.
strength in your voice, and you're so confirmed in it. And the
Yeah.
fact that you can speak from such what other people would consider a dark place with a smile on
Absolutely.
your face.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it's taking time.
Amazing.
It's taking time.
But you're proof that it can
Yeah,
be done.
yes.
And that, like we were talking about earlier, timing, it isn't only a healer, but it changes you and it
Yeah.
teaches you and it helps you be confirmed in any fact that you stand
Absolutely.
on. And again, I just applaud you
Thank
because
you.
that's not an easy feat at all.
Thank you.
At
I
all.
know. It's
Strong
not.
lady.
No, thank you.
Strong lady.
For sure, for sure. So we've talked about so many things, and we can all agree now that there is strength in loss. There is clarity
Yes.
that comes from, timing once healing is on the list of things to do, and at the top of that list at that. So the pandemic, I'm sure that the stillness had a negative effect on business, but how did you all offset that? How did you balance it? Okay, I was like, no, it did not. Ain't no loss over here.
Stop you right there.
So what
No.
was the pandemic, like what was that like, doing business during the pandemic? What was that like for you?
Well, doing business was a little trying because we had to make all the adjustments with the
Right.
partitions and the floor spacing, standing and all that nonsense. But the products was amazing.
And the people, you'd be surprised who was.
Loved it.
The whole community was just coming to the juice bar like,
Everybody was petrified.
what do I need to boost my immune system? What kind of vitamins we need? And it was funny because I guess we've been on a journey for so long and preaching it for so long that we felt good that people felt comfortable coming to us because it was like, you know what? We know this ain't fly by night with you.
Right, you've
y'all
been here.
Y'all been talking about
it's our
this for a
time.
very long time. So
Lives were wrapped around.
it was really
Wrapped around.
yeah, good to see our community responds, and especially even online on social media.
I'm
with
so
people
happy to hear that.
wanting to
Yeah,
be
it was
informed
amazing.
on things they could do on their own to boost their immune system. So it was a cool thing to see for Farmacy and Juices for Life So we was pretty cool by that, and we always, like we say, we believe from what our brand stands for, it keeps the people with us. I think the people understand. Like we'll tell them, if you come in a juice bar and you're first time by, like say you come in a juice bar, right?
Right.
You're from Atlanta. How many times are you really gonna be able to come back? We still want you to
Right.
feel like family. We don't want you to leave with the message. I want you to get a blender, a juicer, take a picture of my menu. I want you to do it at home.
Yes.
And I think that message radiates with the people that we work, so we expect to get paid because we work and we do a good job at our jobs.
love what you
So we expect to get paid, but we not. If you don't never come back and spend a dime with us again, that's cool. But we want you to bring that message home to your family, and I think the community rocks with us for that. They understand, like we got a chance to. We're not politicians, but we get to build with the mayor and the town. Like we put 3 parks up. We got not put the whole park up, but we got
section.
3 parks revised for the community, for the parents and the kids to be
Congratulations.
able to
That's
work
so
out.
needed.
So
Yeah, it's important.
I think when you just push forward on that vibe, everything just kind of.
Everything just kind of sees itself through, and I'm
Sees
so
itself
happy
through.
that the silver lining was grand for you
Yeah,
all during
it
that
was.
time.
It was
Yeah.
so grateful. Yeah.
So
'Cause,
we- yeah.
I wasn't sure how things were going to go initially. I'm like, okay, we're going to have to close the stores. What are we going to do? But the people just kept coming out, and they really wanted to get their immune systems together and intact, and they just wanted to be as healthy as they possibly could and educated at that time. So, and that at that time, that's what kind of inspired these. We have a Pharmacy for Life physical store being constructed in Scarsdale, New York.
Yeah.
That should be open before the winter.
Okay,
So,
look,
yeah.
you heard it
Actually physically
first.
walk in
Pharmacy
there
for
and buy
Life
vitamins.
is popping out.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
because the people.
Yeah.
They keep, got to keep up with the supply and what they want, and the demand, so.
And some people want to see you.
Right.
Some people want to come and learn. Some people's not just cool with just getting everything off the net
Yeah.
and online. And I think they understand what cool with, and then it just kind of works. So I think during the pandemic, everybody just said, "Hey, let's at least try to figure something out," and that was pretty cool to see. So it worked for us.
That makes so much sense. And in the essence of making it work, before we end, what advice would you give to partners or husband, wife, everybody out there that wants to be together, but then also have business?
I would say you should have had a relationship prior to understand that dynamic first before segueing into business. Because there could be a lot of issues or things that need to be resolved or taken
That
care
project
of.
themselves
That project
into the
themselves,
business
and that
dealings.
could
Okay.
essentially mess things up. So I would say just get a structured, sound understanding of what your relationship is first, and then decide whether or not you're ready to work that way.
Yeah.
Because those same strengths come out and weaknesses come out in business. So you have to be ready to deal with them.
And you have to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every
Yeah.
time. That makes sense. What you think, P?
What she said, and I think being able to the ping pong off each other's energy. If you can't do that, it's not gonna work. If you don't, some couples are really willing. I don't know. This is a real one, because if you're not willing to do bad together, it's a phony conversation we have.
right.
A lot of couples want to be a couple because they think everything with couples are good times, happy times, laughing times. It's whether you could weather the storm together and still laugh. Like the
Oh, yeah, we've had
conversation
some
with
stuff. Yeah.
during spirituality.
Right.
I gave you the nice one, but it was like, nigga, I don't care about no money. We don't care about no money. We got to have our shit tight, and our shit tight, and what's going on between us and how we're treating each other. The money, or whether we'll be homeless together. If everything fucked up, we're all right with being fucked up together, because we're going to make it back together, because that's who we are. So I think if you don't have that first understanding, like, I don't think you could even do business together. Like, I know she got my back. She know I got
Yeah,
her
that
back.
trust is
that's-
everything, yep.
And that trust and knowing that, is what's gonna make it happen. Like not.
Yeah, because things will change if people get
shit,
money.
Yeah, shit could change fast.
You know, seriously.
Shit could change fast. Shit,
Okay, look, I
shit
just said,
change
look.
fast. Them big
Yeah.
bags
Okay,
start
look on her
coming.
face.
Yeah,
Stop playing.
It's true.
Shit change fast. Them big checks and big bags start
I
coming.
believe
So you
it.
might
I
want
believe it.
to know you have that solid foundation and say, yo, if we go to the moon, are we going together? And if we don't, are we going together? And that kind of, makes it easy.
That's essential. That's essential. Well, I hope that everyone that is listening and watching got as much as I did from this conversation. Styles P and Adjua, thank you so
Thank you
much
for having us.
being
Thanks for
here.
having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing on Select Conversations by United Masters, presented by Allied.